That is Moments of Pleasure. Now, if you've been to the Southampton Boat Show over the last few days, maybe over the course of the weekend, the chances are you've heard the words, I wish I had one of those, muttered a few times as visitors browsed around the yachts and the speedboats and the various big vessels. But could you achieve the celebrity lifestyle for free? And would you want to? My next guest is showbiz reporter Neil Sean. He has interviewed some of the world's biggest stars, including the one and only Kate Bush. Isn't that right?
Oh, yes, it is. How are you? Good afternoon.
Very well, sir. How are you today?
Do you know, it's funny, you mentioning the boat show just reminded me, many, many years ago, won't say how many, of course, Katie, but I used to work down at the Dolphin Hotel in Southampton. I was working as a what would you call it, a trainee manager in those days. And we used to get loads of, people coming in, celebrities who were in Panto or whatever from the Mayfair. And we've got tickets and stuff. And I went round there and it was fantastic. But like you've just said, you think, I can't afford one of them.
I know.
But it's lovely to have a nosy in, isn't it?
Some of them are the size of a small country. It's quite ridiculous how big some of those boats are.
But I quite like that glamour side of it, because I often think to myself, I was up at the weekend, I was near a canal thing and they had all these lock boats or whatever they call them, and I was looking and I was thinking, what a nice existence to sail along, just floating around the country.
That's not very celebrity though, is it? 4 miles on a canal barge going through the West Midlands, eating an Eccles cake.
And do you know what? You'd be amazed at where I've ended up in the quest for celebrity.
Really?
You always think to yourself, a lot of people say to you, on a serious note, what's it like when you meet, say, I don't know, John Travolta or Brad Pitt or those sort of people. I mean, because they're so famous, it's very strange. I mean, you must find this when you get guests in the studio. You kind of know that, you feel you know them, so you become over familiar in some respects, don't you? Because you think, I watch you every week, I know what you're about, but you don't know them at all.
Well, this is it. One thing that always surprises me, certainly about male celebrities, movie stars who are maybe cast because of the way that they look, when they're photographed or papped, when they're not working, they've got the big shaggy beard and the overcoat, and I don't know whether, you will probably know the answer to this, are they trying to make themselves look kind of a bit, I suppose, a bit scruffier and a bit less attractive so that they're not mobbed by women all the time?
Do you know, I have a bit of that problem myself, in the sense that I wonder whether...
I've got a duffel coat, does that count?
No, what I mean is, exactly the same thing. We interviewed Brad Pitt last week and he was really scruffy and, shall we say, he came with his own aroma, girls. And I thought to myself, if this is the world's sexiest man, then the guy who gets nicely togged up and goes out for a drink on a Friday night doesn't really have that much to compete with. That said, when I interviewed John Travolta, this is a true story, we were doing a thing for Access Hollywood it was, and we did a piece to camera, as they call it, and I put my arm around him, did the piece, and then as I got up, this is a true story, Katie, my cufflink caught his weave and his hair lifted up.
No.
And seriously, and and it's lovely talking to you because you understand what this job's like, and suddenly I see everybody waving their arms frantically and I'm thinking I've done really well. Like you're thinking, this has gone well.
You've got a scoop.
Yeah, and I thought, and so I saw it and I unhooked it from my cufflink and just patted it down like a dog's head and just said, well, it's very nice to meet you and, whatever. And every time we now see each other when we're on a red carpet somewhere, that's all I can see in my head. So you've got to be careful what you do with a celebrity.
Do you say buttons only this time? From now on, it's only buttons.
Worrying, yeah. But, he's in the book too. I mean, he gave me a very good tip, actually. So all of those people that you ask and you meet along the way, and I've been, the richer the people, the better the tip tends to be, because they're the ones that, like the Madonnas and the Tom Cruises, that although they're multi-millionaires, they're the ones that still tend to be the tightest, as we say in the North, yeah.
Doesn't it stand to reason, though, that they get things for free because they will be photographed by people all over the place, and then therefore people have their products almost endorsed by this person who are revered by millions? It makes sense, doesn't it? It stands to reason. The average Joe or Joanna isn't going to have that kind of pull, are they?
Well, it's interesting. Everybody always asks me, how did you start with the book? And the true story is this. Elements of it even, originated from Southampton, because when I was sort of travelling around the country and working on a very low pit and so on, all that sort of stuff, we were very lucky because we were given tickets, say, to the theatre. Do you know what I mean? Wherever you were working. And suddenly you thought, when you've got no money per se, we were were lucky we had jobs and we lived in the hotel and stuff like that. But when you have no money, nobody gives you anything. But it's amazing the minute you've got some money, and that it comes to a celebrity. We went to the Classic Brit Awards a couple of weeks ago, and we got given this fabulous goodie bag with aftershaving, mobile phone, all the things you don't. I mean, Christmas presents.
I was going to say, is that your Christmas present?
Absolutely. But seriously, you do come away thinking the people outside who probably could do with that. And I always think, well, why don't they give a few of the bags out to these people? But they don't. And what I found with a lot of celebrities was the lower end market, if you like, realise it's not going to last for long, so they grab everything they can. Whereas the long termers think, well, there's always going to be a car put on board, and that car can stop them, going off to Harrods and do a bit of shopping, and wherever you go, the celebrities expect everything for free. So what I tried to include in the book was my tips about what you can do to get like free clothes, free teeth done, free haircuts, free skincare, whatever. And it's actually all about just looking around. But the biggest factor is to look smart, because if you look poor, you get nothing, But if you look like you've got money, they will open their door to you. Simple as that.
OK, so do you think that generally people would enjoy the celebrity lifestyle? I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure I'd like all of that.
Oh, everybody wants to save money. So the idea is that even if you don't want that lifestyle and you don't want the red carpet lifestyle, you look at what they did and think, that's a clever idea. You know
want
what
the
I mean?
freebies.
Yeah, you do. It's not necessarily just freebies. It can be things that you can do around yourself. Like, a colleague of mine who, I met very briefly, he said to me he started up his own restaurant review blog, right? And when you think about it, in this world, say 10, 20 years ago, you can do this. But he set it up and he got so many followers, X, Y, Z, all that sort of stuff. And suddenly restaurants were coming to him, asking him
Courting
to
him.
review. Yeah, because, of course, it was bigger than the local paper. It was bigger than anything you could do. And suddenly he was out for dinner virtually every weekend,
Brilliant.
And I thought, actually, you could apply that to theatre, you could apply that to film, whatever. So the floodgates are open to things now. If you just look around and think, what can I get for free today? And every day I start out and think, what can I get for free? So far it's been a cup of water from the BBC, but it's not bad.
It's not bad. Hopefully it was filtered water, though.
Yes, I think
Good.
so, yeah.
Good, absolutely. Now listen, I've got to let you go in just a moment's time. I know that you are going to want people to read the book to get the top tips, but you must be able to share just one with us this afternoon. What's your best tip then for making life more glam right now?
Well, I tell you what, girls, there's two, and they came from Jennifer Lopez. One of them is this: never ever, if you're going on a big night out or whatever, don't bother doing your own makeup. Simply go to a major department store and get made over. They will do it for free and you get a bag of goodies at the end. And Priscilla Presley told me she never spends any money on serums. Those expensive things that you put under your eyes, girls. She has always used, I don't know if it's an endorsement or not, to be honest, but she's always used natural sort of Vaseline and other leading brands of petroleum jelly. Because, and it's true, I tried it, and actually it's the same thing. And when you read in it, the only difference, Katie, is a little bit of perfume and a nice fancy bottle. But, you can always slip that in your side drawer if anybody visits, can't you?
Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Thank you very much for being part of the show today, and best of luck with the book.
Thank you.
You're such a name dropper as well. I've got to get in there before I let you go. Great to have your company.
Take care, love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Neil Sean, his book is called How to Live Like a Celeb for Free. He was good fun, wasn't he? This is Bon Jovi and Living on a Prayer.